was that these people were sophisticated, that there was fucking crazy types of technology before us.
But the problem is they looking for
Proving is that we don't know shit.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Nothing. We can never
They look,
prove
yeah, that's what it is.
We'll never know.
They denying it because there's no documentation.
We're never gonna know.
Who has the answers?
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Gobekli Tepe. This is our 11th week. We've got a bunch of news to talk about and a movie to talk about. I'm Juan Marillis, coming from Berkeley, and from the other side of the country is
No, go ahead.
Yeah, from the other side of the country is Juan Pablo. Care to introduce yourself?
Yeah, that is I, Juan Pablo from New York. What is up? How's everything?
Yeah, I mean, things are good over here. I've got a lot of stress, but that's the usual. Coming on a nice Tuesday night, weird enough.
Yeah. I mean, we're just really trying to fix our schedules as best we can to fit in this podcast every week, but we haven't missed a week yet, which I'm really happy about, so that's a good thing.
And for our
We've stayed
listeners,
consistent.
we're going to have a more consistent time starting next week. I think it depends on when Juan gets to editing, but we'll be recording on Sunday mornings, so you can expect it to come out Monday or Tuesday every week.
Yeah. Right now it's just been a matter of like recording times, but like once we sit down on that, editing it doesn't take super long, so expect like whatever the day that we record the day after is usually when it comes out. So for now, we've been playing around with the whole Monday through Wednesday time just because it's been the beginning of the semester for the both of us. But once we get into like the groove of things, I feel like it'll be a lot more consistent in terms of at least like a day and a time. But you know, episodes still come out, which I'm happy with. So we haven't missed a week, knock on wood. And for now, it's been good. And I think we're on 11, actually recording on the 11th, September 11th. How long has it been already? 2018? No, I'm talking about like September 11th.
Oh, okay, you are. I was going to say.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the day. I think it's a very important day. We should at least recognize
17 years.
Yeah, 17 years from 2001. Where you weren't even in New York at that point, right?
No, I was here. I was in Berkeley.
Yeah. I was here. Very hectic day. Obviously, I don't remember it. I was like 4, but I have stories. Anyways, worth mentioning. September 11th.
Unfortunately,
may everyone. How were you gonna say?
Well, I think we need to continue with the sad news, other than it being 9/11 today.
Oh yeah. Well, to continue, I guess back to back. Yeah. For everyone who doesn't know, of course, you're gonna know this has been like the major news of the week. But rest in peace to Mac Miller. Really sad loss in the community, honestly.
Yeah, fantastic albums.
I had no words.
I was so surprised when I heard about his death. I couldn't believe it. I mean,
yeah,
especially coming off of that last album, like I don't know. It seemed like things were kind of looking up, but he did seem sad. So
yeah, I mean, like I think that he was in another one of his like downs. I think it was one of his more like downer moments. He was going through like a rough patch, but honestly, he was talking about, and I think that my favorite song on the album, on his last album, is Self-Care, because he talks about like being all right, you know, like just taking care of yourself and really working towards getting better. And that song really hits me, I mean, twice as hard now, because it's like it's so surreal. I mean, there are accounts, you know, we finally gotten some more details, right? But there are accounts that he was, you know, the night before he passed away, he was watching football with his close friends. He was hanging out. He was having a great time. He was like in a good mood. And then his last snap, only hours before he was confirmed dead, he had a snap where he was just playing piano. He was recording, and then he had posted a song that he was listening to, and it's just bizarre to me how things kind of just happen, like they just click, right? You know, like one moment someone's here, the next moment they're not. And he
Yeah.
was 26, you know, like it's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I
Because
mean,
he feels like he's been here for forever, but it hasn't been that. He's only 26.
yeah, not that old, that much older than us, so
Yeah.
kind of
I mean, I'm
horrifying.
21, 22, like it's just crazy. So yeah, just rest in peace, you know, because he's an artist I looked up to a lot. I think he was doing a lot of he was doing something different in the industry. He started off as like a rapper, but by the end of it he was really getting into this space of like live instrumentation, really R&B, really jazzy, really funky. He was really experimenting with sounds, and it's just really tragic because I think that he's one of the creatives that deserved what he was getting, and it really deserved the credit. He deserved the fame, and he was just about to go on tour too, you know what I mean? So just
Yeah,
really
no, I
sad.
think this was an accident. I think it was an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a shame.
rest in peace. We love you, Mac Miller, and like, you know, to those who are listening, like I always say this because you never know, but if you're ever going through one of these an issue of any sort, whether it's drug abuse or anything whatsoever, please reach out to someone, even if it's like literally one of us. Like, you have our social medias, DM us, like send us an email. Like, we love interaction, and also like we will be there for anyone. So reach out to your family, your friends, anybody. Phone call a hotline if you need to. But the shit is getting really fucked up in the industry now, because we've had a lot of losses related to this kind of shit over the last 6 months, and it's not okay. So that's all I wanted to say. I think with that being said, we can leave it at that. Rest in peace, Mac Miller, and you know, he had a great life, I think, great career, and he's gonna be missed. So that's that. Anyways, on to some more enlightening, I guess, news for the week. But Logic has been releasing a couple of singles here and there, and I think that I'm really prospective. Like, I'm really hopeful for this next album. It's going to be, I mentioned it last week, but it's going to be called, it's within the realm of the, I'm forgetting his first mixtapes, what they were called. Young Sinatra. Yeah, Young Sinatra 4 is going to be coming out. He released a song called Everybody Dies. I've been bumping it all week. It's fantastic. Not only that, but YBN finally dropped their mixtape. For those of you who don't know YBN, it's a collective that consists of YBN Almighty J, YBN Corday, and the one that started it all, which is YBN Namir. And they have it's a pretty bumping album, honestly. So definitely give it a check. Like, check it out. I love YBN. They're like really young. They're like just graduated high school, and they're doing great things. So that's that. In other news, and this is going to be like our mini topic, so I'm not going to delve too much into it, but I love it. Kanye West, Lil Pump, that's all I'm going to say. Pretty bizarre collab. And
What a
there's just a
random thing.
lot to say. There's a lot to say about it. Which is why we're going to leave for the mini topic. There's a lot to say about that shit. And I think it's really funny. I think it's kind of an iconic duo. I mean, like, I never expected it, but I'm not mad. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that.
I don't know. To me, it's a really weird duo because I think Kanye is one of the best in the industry, and Lil Pump's one of the worst. So, you know.
I'm dead. I mean, to
It's
each
a
their own
duo.
opinion. It's a duo. Yeah, I will say it's an interesting duo, though. I think it's something that's worth mentioning. I didn't see it coming, but then again, I think Kanye is the king of unpredictability. So then again, what can you see coming when it comes to Kanye West?
Full collab album.
Actually, well, this is news. I was going to mention it later, but Kanye posted that he's in a studio session currently with 6ix9ine.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
What did you expect for me to say? What did you
Lil
expect?
Pump?
Oh, no. I mean, that already happened though.
Yeah,
It's
no.
done.
I mean, it's not an album though.
No. He's in the studio with 6ix9ine though, which I think is interesting. Six is really fucking. I mean, he's best friends with Nicki Minaj right now, and now he's in the studio with Kanye West. Blows my mind. But I think this is where we see Kanye really, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I think this is really where we see him. I think he's reaching for relevance, right? He wants to collaborate with all these relevant artists who are, for one, very controversial, which I think that's why he's gyrating towards them. They're quite controversial, and for two, very, very, very on the radar, right? Like Lil Pump, he had a $10 million contract with Atlantic, and he's killing it in the game in terms of numbers. And then you have freaking 6ix9ine, who every song he's released up until now has been on the Billboard, like every single. So he's gotten gold, platinum plaques. He's really killing it too in terms of the numbers game. A lot of haters, a lot of flack, but like, really killing it. And so I'm just interested because it seems like Kanye is really trying to stay on top of that. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. It's subjective. It's art. It's music.
No,
but
I think you're right. I think Kanye's trying to stay relevant. And I mean, the interesting thing is Kanye doesn't need to stay relevant. He's very much I don't know. I feel like he could have dropped I Love It without Lil Pump there, and we'd still be talking about it.
Yeah, I think so, but I also want to disagree for a second and counter argue that I think the fact that Lil Pump is on it too is what makes it more viral. Because
I don't know,
that collab is so unexpected. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing, like put Kanye and whoever else next to it, and it would have been like viral. But Kanye Lil Pump, it's the collaboration you didn't expect. And like, think about it, right? We're talking about one of the, what people will say, one of the kings of hip hop, of rap, like one of the best of all time. And we're taking basically the most viral SoundCloud rapper, who, for lack of a better way to put it, has actually been denoted as one of the worst. I mean, you said it yourself, one of the worst rappers of all time. And when you put them, there's like this weird juxtaposition, right? Where we have Kanye, who is hailed as one of the to many the best of this generation, and others as well. And you juxtapose that with Lil Pump, who has been criticized for a lack of lyricism, a lack of originality, and just pure recklessness on the microphone. And you have this.
I don't know what you're talking about with lack of lyricism. Come on.
Don't start memeing me. I'm trying to make a point here, okay? but you get what I mean, though. I think the juxtaposition is what makes it such a viral sensation. And I say that because of this, right? I'm also talking about it in a numbers game, because the reality is that Kanye is huge, and yes, he releases platinum selling records, and Kanye is Kanye, but the reality is that when you look at the numbers in terms of his music videos, right, there is a fluctuation. There are some songs that he has that have huge, like really high numbers of views, and there are other ones that, despite the songs having any sort of success, it doesn't really hit the number that you would expect Kanye West to have. And then you look at Lil Pump. I mean, the music video was released under Lil Pump's account. It wasn't on Kanye's YouTube. It was on Lil Pump's YouTube. And when you look at the numbers, man, like it has 55 million views as of today.
That's a lot of views.
It's a lot of views. I mean, if you look at any Lil Pump stuff, like Gucci Gang hit 300 mil in like no time whatsoever. And he released a song with Smoke Perp. I'm forgetting, it's like Cousins, or I don't know what the fuck it was called. I spoke about it though. That shit was hitting skyrocketing numbers. Anything that, I mean, even Get It, right? Get It went viral #1 the day it came out, and it had zero publicity. So did Drug Addicts. He's just someone who commands numbers, and I think that it was smart on Kanye to collab with it, and I think it was smart on Pump, of course, because like you have the Kanye cosign, you know, like as a 17-year-old, that's nuts to me. So
yeah, I mean, maybe we could save the rest of this conversation for the mini topic.
That's
or we
true.
could just do it now.
That's true. I think we spoke a lot about it. I'm going to talk more about like background later. Anyways, let's not talk about it anymore. I do want to mention there's a Cardi B and Nicki Minaj feud going on right now. Y'all should check it out. There's some footage. Cardi was out here trying to fight Nicki in physical form. The feud has been real. It's been on the DL. Let's be honest here. It's been on the DL for a very long time. They've had songs together, which is the funny part. But they've been low-key coming at each other's throats very, very subtly for the last couple of months. But now it's really ignited, and I think it's kind of funny. I don't know why it's happening, considering both of them are great.
It's really funny because I think that both of them are very kind of similar in a way.
Right.
I don't know.
I think the issue is that people have been putting them against each other because of that. Because Cardi rose, like, her success was much more viral than Nicki Minaj's was. Nicki Minaj's was like an upscale and then eventually went exponential when she started doing more like Young Money stuff and became very, very, very poppy. Whereas Cardi B obviously had a very slow start, but immediately rose to like what people would consider Nicki Minaj status in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So I think the issue is that people are placing them against each other, and I think they're letting it get to their heads, which is sad, but also, I guess, entertaining in a way. Anyways, I don't agree with it, but that's what it is. Just wanted to update it. So yeah. Anyways, I think this is a good time to talk about our movie of the week, which we are very conflicted about, but I think it will lead to good conversation.
I'm not sure it's conflicted.
Well, we're conflicted in terms of the film itself. We agree. But I'm conflicted about the movie because I wanted it to be better. But anyways, The Nun. For those of you who don't know about The Nun, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of the film. But essentially the movie talks about the lore of the nun, which you have to understand it contextually. This is it within the realm of The Conjuring. So The Conjuring 1, The Conjuring 2 are films about a couple who explores this sort of like exorcist. You can call it kind of paranormal, but it deals with like spirits, ghosts, hauntings, exorcism. There are a couple that deals with that, and without spoiling much, mostly demons. Sorry, I had to mention that shit, but demons. And from the Conjuring universe spawned out Annabelle, which is Annabelle 1, Annabelle Creation, which Juan, you'll talk about a bit, or we can mention it. And then from that, we have this little backstory, which is meant to give us some more context on the nun, who is a character that we see in The Conjuring 2. Spoilers. But yeah, so it's within the context of that universe. All the films say that they're based on a true story. Now, to the extent of that, we don't know, obviously, because films love to say that shit and then twist everything out of proportion, as we spoke about with BlacKkKlansman before. But we've seen this in horror films a lot because, of course, twisting the truth of a murder case or some sort of wrong exorcism and making it fucking crazy drives people up the wall. It's a lot scarier, and we get those based on a true story effect kind of films that really make you not sleep at night. However, I will say, so The Nun particularly is about this nun demon that, again, we see in The Conjuring 2, but we follow the storyline of a soon-to-be nun. She's not a nun yet, but we have this girl who's the protagonist, and she has been asked by the Vatican to explore with this priest who
is pretty much a demon hunter. Like that's
right.
That's what he is.
Right, exactly. He's a designated priest by the Vatican that essentially is a demon hunter, and the Vatican recruits this other girl who's had experiences with demons, and she supposedly has visions, and so she's dealt with this kind of activity before, and so they recruit the both of them to go, what is it called? To go investigate this random suicide that has happened at an church.
Abbey.
Yeah, an abbey. Sorry, an abbey. That is where exactly? I'm forgetting.
It wasn't in France. It was in Romania. So it was
Romania.
Like, yeah.
And another character that we see in the beginning is a guy named Frenchie, who is half French, half Canadian. And he kind of helps him out a little bit in terms of getting there. And that's when the story kind of unfolds, because you learn that it's not just a suicide, but there's more to it, obviously. And this is not a spoiler, but obviously this deals with the character of the nun, the haunting of the nun in that abbey, and basically it's these three characters dealing with this sort of haunting and the origin story behind it. Yeah. So that's the general gist of it without saying much more.
Yeah, there's a few things I want to say about the casting, but I guess I'll mention it in spoilers.
Okay.
I mean, it's just the casting of one person. But, yeah, so the movie was not good.
Okay, yeah, let's start with your opinion on it. Give me your reflection on it. Non-spoilers, obviously.
Yeah, so coming off of The Conjuring 2, the main villain, I guess, of this movie is this demon called Valak, and it's like kind of the main villain of The Conjuring 2. And throughout The Conjuring 2, you tend to see this nun. It's like kind of demonic nun that shows up, and it's kind of like scary looking and like ominous. So a full movie based on it kind of sounded promising, but at the same time, you never know with these movies. Annabelle was trash. I didn't see Annabelle, not gonna lie, but I've heard a lot about it, and apparently it's really bad. And honestly,
yeah, I haven't heard good things about it. I heard the second one was better than the first, but
yeah,
not good things.
Yeah, so in the end, there's a lot of issues with this movie. I'm gonna start with the good. I guess I really liked a lot of the cinematography. There were times where the shots were really nice. There were shots that were ominous. Again, I'm not going to spoil, but there's one scene in particular that I thought was pretty cool and creepy. There were pretty good like locations, I think, and I don't know, a lot of kind of the set design was really cool. I thought that the Abbey looked really cool. A lot of the places with the crosses were really cool. The graveyard was a nice nice touch. I pretty much really enjoyed the visuals of the movie. Right. For the most part. There were things I thought were dumb, but as far as visuals go, but the rest of it, pretty much everything else, like
questionable.
I mean, bad, honestly. The acting was subpar. There was nothing special about it. No one really stood out to me. They were all like kind of very clearly characters. The main girl was just this innocent, like scared hero, I guess. I don't know. She didn't really seem brave at any point. She was just kind of like a damsel in distress for the most part and she does like 2 or 3 useful things. And then Frenchie is like literally a cartoon. Just a guy that's like in love with this girl and like for no reason, and decides he's gonna help them with a demon. Like he literally sees something move from the dead and then gets attacked by a demon, and then he decides, yeah, I'm gonna go back. Which, like, for people he met the day before, like, I don't know, it just seems so like cartoonish. And the Spanish dude, oh my god, like the priest.
Oh yeah. He's quite interesting.
He was such like his character trait is that he let a kid die during an exorcism. Like,
which, not spoilers, doesn't ruin the plot, by the way. But,
yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't have spoiled it, but whatever. I don't.
Well, it's part of his backstory, but it's not. I mean, like, it doesn't really. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it doesn't really affect the film that much.
Honestly, here's the thing. He's got 2 character traits. I lied. It wasn't just the fact that he let a kid die during the exorcism. He has one more. He loves to be shitty at solving puzzles. He works on one crossword puzzle throughout the entire movie, which spans over a few days. And I'm pretty sure he gets one of the words, and it's because the girl told him.
Yep.
And he's constantly mentioning puzzles as if he's like super into puzzles. I don't know. Like, I felt like the crossword puzzle showed up way too much because he didn't solve shit. It was so funny where, like, at the end, it's, like, on the ground and, like, zooms in because, like, it reveals something to him. And, like, nothing is more filled out than when you see it at the beginning of the movie. It's really funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I think here's the thing, right? Again, not trying to spoil, but, like, I think that the biggest takeaways for me from the film is, like, I think the production value was pretty great. I think that the whoever did the scouting for the locations, props to you, because it was super well put together. I think a lot of the shots were great. I thought the directing was actually pretty good. And like The Conjuring 1 and 2, I love the directing. And so this one I liked as well. I think here's the thing, right? For me, I think they nailed it with the atmosphere. I think they nailed it in terms of, like, the environment, like the location, like the feel that you got in the area was unmistakable. I think that the reason why you're taken out of the film a lot of the times is, one, the characters. I think the dialogue is weak.
The screenplay is garbage.
Yeah, the dialogue is whack as hell. I think the plot points are whack as hell. I think that
I can't even props to the directing, honestly, because a good director could have taken the cinematography and made it scary. This one just relied on the same jump scare multiple times. The only scare that you get in this movie is literally the camera panning around to show you something ominous, and then, like, maybe behind the character, for example, and then something comes out of frame and jumps the character, and it jumps you too, but it's the same jump scare. It's like I don't know, there were a few times where I thought that the movie had, like, some kind of scary factor, some kind of, like, even anxiety to it, but that literally was maybe one or two times. And, like, I'm not even kidding, I have a watch now that, like, detects my pulse, and I checked it after the movie, and my pulse went above, like, 80 once in that entire hour.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, like, I don't criticize the directing necessarily, like, for the way in which, because I understand, like, I get where you're coming from in terms of, like, the usage of jump scares and, like, using the directing to make the film scarier. The thing is, like, the reason why I enjoy the directing more so is because of the shots. I think that when we talk about jump scares, you also have to think about plot, and that then you have to jump to the screenplay. And I think if we don't analyze, like, if take away the cheap jump scares for a sec, right? And I think that what I enjoyed a lot about the directing, hand in hand with the cinematography, is that for me, all the setup shots, like all the exposition shots, like all the panning, the tracking, all of that I enjoyed a lot because it felt very within the film. Like, it felt like I was following the characters. It felt to me that they had taken the time to develop the environment. Now, whether you take advantage of the environment is one thing. I think the screenplay didn't take advantage of it, and I think that the director didn't take advantage of it. But the environmental setup and the way that the shots were set up, I thought was fantastic. That's what I liked about it.
I really want to agree, but I just think that's, like, more of a cinematographer's job, and the director just ended up... Because, I mean, the director's in charge of some of these aspects, but, like... There are things that he was in charge of that were just bad. I mean, the tone in the movie, that's 100% on him. And it's just so inconsistent. There's jokes all over the place. And there's really weird jokes all over the place.
Yeah.
Let me just say one of them because I thought it was so ridiculous that I don't care if it's a spoiler. I'm not going to say the spoilery part of it. At one point, the priest says... Or at one point, Frenchie says, "Holy shit," and the priest responds, "The holiest."
Yeah, I remember. I know exactly what scene this is too.
Like, are you kidding me? I mean, that was supposed to be a serious scene. There's so many moments where, like, the movie, I was taken out of the movie because I thought it was so funny. There were, I mean, I'll talk about it in spoilers, but this movie was fucking hilarious, and I don't think it was meant to be. I mean, it definitely wasn't meant to be. There were scenes where, like, the demon was attacking people, and I'm just like, this is the funniest thing I have seen in a movie in a while. Like, I was kind of laughing a lot in the movie theater, and that's not what I want to get out of a horror movie. I want it to leave me kind of feeling apprehensive at the very least. I don't think I was scared ever.
I think it deals with inconsistencies. That's what we were seeing. I think there's just a lot of inconsistencies in character, in tone, in like this whole like you have to look at tension, right? Tension in the film, and I think there was a lack of a proper build up and release of tension, and that's what I think we should just delve into the spoilers because it's hard to talk about this film anymore without spoiling. But I will say this as a general overview. I think personally for me, I thought the environment was very well crafted. I think the director I think is flawed, but in terms of the direction of the shots, in terms of setting up scenes, in terms of creating this environment, and that's not just the director and the cinematographer. I think it's also the production manager and the production team. I think did a fantastic job, and I think even the costumes are great. So I think overall production was great. I think the cinematography was stellar. Directing had its flaws, but I think a lot of the setups for the scenes I liked a lot. I just think the execution was poor. And so for that, I'll say it's aight. Not great. It was aight. I don't know if it's worth... I think if you're into the lore of the film and if you're really into the story, then this is one of those films that you should go watch, because I think if anything, you'll take away what you need to take away in terms of the Easter eggs, in terms of the plot line and how it relates back to the other films. So it's not the worst horror film I've seen in theaters, but it's not even close to the best. So that's my opinion.
I mean, okay. I think that this basically deserved a Juan's shitty movie segment, but it's not as bad as, let's say, The Purge, the first Purge. There are redeeming elements. It's just that it left me so disappointed by the fact that there was nothing to it. Like, it was very cliche, it was confusing, and it wasn't scary. And I think that that's the biggest problem with a horror movie that's not scary. Like, why did I go? It's not a horror movie. Why did I go? And that, like, so I think I'd give it our lowest score of not good. Okay, so we're in between a not good and an aight. So, okay, sounds good. Well, by this point now, if you're not interested in getting spoiled, do not go further and just skip over this section and go straight to our song of the week. But we will be delving into spoilers right now. So, Juan, what is the first thing you want to spoil? Because I feel like you have a lot of shit to say about this. Hey guys, don't leave. Just listen to the spoilers because this movie's fucking hilarious. So many things wrong with it. Let me think.
I mean, let's start with the lack of tension buildup and just the shitty puns, right?
All right, yeah. Let's start with the demon. I want to start with the demon.
You want to start with the demon? Okay, let's start with the demon.
I just think there's a few things that I want to mention about the demon. Okay. Demon is a nun who is kind of just stalking around a big abbey or whatever.
Right.
And the goal of the nun is to possess someone so it can get out, because it needs someone to get out.
Right.
And apparently it's one of the biggest, baddest demons of all time. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
And literally it struggles it just tries to... it's the whole thing that it does is spook people. It spends the entire movie trying to spook people. It doesn't try to possess anyone ever, except at the very end where it takes a big ass ritual, and then guess what? She ends up possessing someone like by choking him. Like there wasn't anything else to it, right? Like she just choked Frenchie and that possessed him. For the girl, she needed to like play all these mind games, spook the fuck out of her, carve a star into her back, bring her into a specific room, surround her by people with like bags on their head and blood, levitate her a little bit, and then finally, after all of that, she managed to possess her, and that was instantly removed by my favorite thing in existence, the little glass bottle of Jesus Christ's blood.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that for a sec, right? I think that is the
greatest
biggest
thing
fucking
I have
cop-out.
ever seen in my life.
The biggest cop out I've ever heard in a film, right? And like we talk about this concept of like plot armor and shit, right? But this is beyond me. Like,
Dude, the Jesus
someone-
Christ blood hand grenade. This is
But
the best
someone,
thing
right?
someone's ever written.
Someone
And
there
I'm
were
so
people
happy.
that were sitting at a table conceptualizing this film, and someone unironically or ironically said, "What if the crux of the film is the blood of Jesus Christ?"
In a little,
And someone
in
said
a little
yes.
glass bottle.
And someone said yes.
It's just so funny to me. It's the most cartoon, like, bullshit thing that I've ever seen. I never felt like the Conjuring movies were like super realistic, grounded in reality, obviously. I mean, they tried to start that way, and I mean, they've gone further away from that. But
Right.
the thing is that, like, you're trying to make me buy that this is the real world.
Right.
And now you're telling me that we're literally in Indiana Jones world or something because there's just a little bottle of Jesus Christ blood laying around and it can kill demons, like, which not only confirms like demons but also confirms Christianity in this universe as like the one true religion, which I think is fucking hilarious.
Well, not only that, right? But like, think about this for a second, right? I think the second that I learned that Jesus Christ's blood was a thing, that's what took me out of the film the most. I shit you not. Like,
Dude,
the
I was
second
like,
that was
they're
mentioned, I
wizards.
just
It's so
No.
funny. They're just like, because the old guy that like sealed the chamber or whatever was just a wizard. It was
Right.
so good.
But that's the thing, though. I feel like that took me out. You know what? You can talk about the shitty tension and release, like, of the crappy jokes. You can talk about how stupid the actual demon was. You can talk about witchcraft and the pentagrams and all the stupid shit you want. But to me, the thing that took me out of the film the most was the fact that they had concretely, physically, actually gotten, like, they made Jesus Christ's blood a real thing. And that, to me, like, once I figured that out, I literally sat back in my seat and I was like, this is stupid.
No, I
Like,
agree, but
And
like,
even
let's
from a religious or non-religious point of view, I think it's stupid because like it's the biggest cop out. Like it's like it's like giving someone the ultimate weapon. Like, nothing can beat this. Nothing. The nun wasn't even concerned about it. Zero concern about it. Gave zero shits, right? Because the ending scene, right, before when she's about to die, she throws a girl in the water and that shit's floating. The nun doesn't fucking, like, it's not, it could have fucking teleported and picked it up and smashed it, and fuck that, it would have been over. The nun gave zero fucks about the only thing that could kill it. And I was like, huh? Like, really?
Speaking about the nun, what do you think about the nun force pulling a shotgun and then bringing it up to a guy's face and then being like, "You've disappointed them just like you've disappointed everyone else"?
I don't know, man. Like, I didn't think demons
Dude,
could
when
get
the-
that deep.
when
that,
the demon
the
was
nun
just,
destroyed
like,
his entire life.
No, but like when the nun was just quipping and using the force, it was so funny to me. I was just like, the fuck am I watching? Not to mention that half the time it's just like a weird action movie. Like when Frenchie first saves the priest. First of all, the priest has like literally serves no purpose in this movie other than to get saved. He gets saved by the girl and by Frenchie. Like, the priest gets saved by Frenchie because Frenchie comes out of nowhere with like an axe and cuts something and then like makes a quip. And then later on they're fighting a demon and the demon's on fire, and like Frenchie shoots him with a shotgun and he's just like, yeah, this seemed like an emergency. And they just have so many stupid one-liners. And what the fuck was this movie?
No, and
like,
not only that, but let me
do
tell
they know?
you,
Like, it just kind of felt like there were parts where it just felt like a Resident Evil movie. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, there's a demon. Let's hit it with a shotgun, or like the demon's using a fucking shotgun, or like,
and that
or
is
like when
that
it
is the
when it
second
casually
thing.
shoot. I think the shotgun's my biggest issue. Remember when it zooms in to the shotgun in the bar? I like
Yeah.
saw it in the background. And I'm like, there's no way they're gonna zoom into that fucking shotgun, and then they did, and I was like,
And that's the second thing. So number one for me, Jesus Christ blood took me out of the film. Number two, immediately is the use of weapons and the approval of the priest to use a fucking shotgun. Okay? Because that is the major disconnect. Right? Because as a priest,
oh my god,
you're
I
a
didn't
pacifist.
even realize
You don't
this.
believe. Think about it though, right? It makes
Yeah.
no fucking sense.
Especially
Why?
since he feels so bad about like exercising that kid and the
Yeah.
kid like dying.
No,
Oh
he.
my god.
There is in no. This is the first time, at least in my experience, with films that deal with religious characters like priests, and even in fucking like parody films like Scary Movie, right? This is the first time where I see a movie unironically make their religious character. Not only that, like it's not even the girl nun who isn't even a nun yet, right? Like she doesn't confess her vows till the very end of the film. So technically, right, she can still be a bit impure. But this motherfucker is a priest, like a Vatican-approved priest who, yes, deals with demonic shit. But we all know that priests who deal with demonic shit they do exorcisms. That's it. This motherfucker was like, God bless you, brought the shotgun. Like, use that shit.
Let's
Because
murder some demons.
he was 5 seconds away from being like, or I'll grab it and use it myself. I'm like, where is this going? Like, it went from like, all right, the priest is kind of stupid, right? He's kind of useless, doesn't really do much. But, you know, no offense, but you kind of expect that from like the religious characters because they're pacifists and they're not going to use weapons and they believe in the word of the Bible and like whatever the fuck you want. That's fine. Whose fucking idea was it for him to vouch for the use of violence and shotguns and weapons and shooting a fucking demon, which makes no sense, right? Because like, how are you gonna mix like demonic presence with physical weaponry? Like it made zero sense, right?
Dude,
I was
there's
shook.
so much wrong with this movie. I just like the more I think about it, the more scenes. Let's just mention. I just want to mention how about the whole time that the girl was talking to the nuns, which was literally like 40 minutes of the movie.
Right.
That was all in her head.
Yep.
And she's
Nothing
just
was real.
she's just imagining shit. And I was just like, because the whole time I was like, if there are nuns here, this whole thing doesn't make sense, because like, why
Right.
did the nun commit suicide? That doesn't make any, like, there's no way. These nuns are literally just there to spook her. Like, that's the point of them. And like, and then there's a part where she's like having a vision, and at the same time she's in a vision. So it's like visionception, and it makes absolutely no sense. And then there's the fact that this girl is the lead actress from The Conjuring's sister in real life,
Right.
but has no actual relation to the woman from The Conjuring. I thought it was going to be revealed for some reason that she was her mother or her sister or something, but no, she's just some other lady that looks exactly the same that has visions. What? And then, like, oh my god, I'll talk about the one scene I did like.
Okay.
When Churchy, I keep calling him Churchy.
Churchy.
When Frenchie walks
That's
into,
like if the
can we call
church,
priest
if the
Churchy?
priest and Frenchie had a child, he'd be named Churchy.
Let's call the priest Churchy.
Okay.
When Frenchie walks into that room where the girl's possessed, and there's a whole bunch of like things with like I guess bags on their heads, and they're all like kind of twitching and shit. That was pretty scary. I like that. I wish that scene was the whole movie. Like, like that built some tension, and then the tension was absolutely destroyed when the demon starts using the force.
And shotgun.
So good. And can I mention the subtle we spit on the demon because it like gives us better luck or whatever, and then she beats the demon by spitting the blood of Jesus Christ into its face.
Honestly, I didn't even make that connection, and I'm not even mad because it's stupid. I'm not even mad.
How did she get
Like-
the blood of Jesus Christ into her mouth when she was being choked out underwater? Also, why is the demon choking her out? Why can't the demon do something else? It has the force.
It has a shotgun. I mean, don't forget that.
And
It has a
already
fucking
possessed
shotgun.
it already possessed the other guy. So what was it even trying to do? I don't even
But it already possessed her too.
Yeah, but like the other guy like got the blood of Jesus Christ on her face, so like uninhabitable or whatever. But like he got, which is funny because technically that means that he has the blood of Jesus Christ on his hands, which means that
Right.
technically he's also uninhabitable, but whatever, he got inhabited. So like once it possessed Frenchie, why did it keep going after the girl? Like what was the point?
I
Other
don't
than to get
know.
the blood of Jesus Christ spit on its face. Like, and when did she drink it? She was being literally choked out underwater. Like, she picked, like, when did she break the glass and drink the blood? It doesn't
Well,
make any sense.
She didn't even break the glass. The assumption, right, from my understanding, is that there's a little hole at the top.
Oh, no, the
thing
glass
is-
was broken when the nun picked it up.
Oh no, you're right. But still, it was broken in a sense for like, how would she have Steven sucked that up?
Yeah.
Like it's underwater.
Because it was in, like, another vial inside the vial. Like,
right.
didn't make any sense. Nothing about this end made sense, and there were so many things that were really funny, like when the freaking nun just floats out from underwater and starts like hovering over the water, and it's got all this ominous music, but it just looked so funny. And oh my god, the snake boy is like my favorite thing in existence too. Like there's just a boy that vomits up a snake, and like that's the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
he starts trolling the priest with his snake, and the snake actually bites the priest,
Yeah.
and that happened, and the priest lost an eye because of that.
Yep.
That was weird.
Here's one thing I will say. One thing I will say, which I think is one of the major flaws of the film, which doesn't make it as scary. And I'm gonna relate this to one of my favorite films, which I think me and you agree on this, but Sinister, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about this for a second. One of the best horror movies. Me and you watched it together, and we were scared shitless.
I watched it recently, and I was scared shitless.
Yeah,
Not
it's a
gonna lie.
fantastic film. For anyone who hasn't watched it, please watch Sinister. But I will say, I will spoil it a sec. Not plot-wise, but I will mention one element of it that makes it scary that the nun completely lacks. In Sinister, the antagonist or the demon that's terrorizing the family is called Bughuul. Now, the thing that makes Bughuul so scary is that, much like the nun in The Conjuring 2, you don't really get too much of her face. A lot of it is in shadows, a lot of it is hidden. Her clothing in The Conjuring 2 very much hides her face, and very much like Bughuul in Sinister, where until the very end you don't really know what he looks like. You get vague pixelated photos, and you see him in the background of things, but everything's kind of dark, and you don't really visually see what his face looks like until the very end of the film. That element of Sinister is what made me so scared of Bughuul. I mean, in part because I think his character alone, again, not going to spoil it, but his character alone is very scary. But
I
it's
don't
this
know. I was
element
pretty
of not
haunted by
knowing.
those like videos that he played. Fuck those.
Well, that's the thing, though. But
Oof.
I think that the one element of the fear of the thing that makes him so scary is that you don't know what he looks like, and I think that feeds into this concept of fear within like human like sociology, which is we're scared of what we don't know. And I think that the nun fucked that up because in The Conjuring 2, it was building that up. Like, I didn't know what the nun really looked like, vague photos, blah, blah, blah. But in The Nun, you get full frontal shots of what she looks like from the first 5 minutes of the film. And I think the knowledge of you knowing what she looks like, and it's not actually as terrorizing as you think, is for me what ruined her perception in my head. because I was like, okay, I know what you look like. You're not that scary.
Yeah, but you didn't know
And-
about Demon Snake Boy.
Okay, fuck Demon Snake Boy for like half a sec. Like, fuck Demon Snake Boy. I am mad that they ruined the nun from the first 5 minutes of the film. I'm mad that they didn't play on not knowing. That's
Yeah.
what makes horror films so good. Like, not knowing what you fear. And it fucked it up.
I also think it's partially just the tone that was completely wrong in this movie.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's sinister that you got this consistent, horrifying, dark tone throughout the movie. You barely have a moment to breathe in that movie.
Right.
And when you do, it's like you're tense. In this one, you know, every other scene is just like, okay, the demon stopped spooking us for a little bit, so let's just relax, I guess. I don't know.
Basically.
Nothing happens. Oh, there's so many times where nothing happens.
Yeah.
Remember that time where the priest nearly gets buried alive, and so he decides, I'm gonna light a lighter down here, you know, in this airtight box
Right.
where I have like a limited
Very
amount
limited
of oxygen. Yeah, let's just light a lighter. Dude, this movie, ugh.
Yeah, we're gonna end the conversation here. I think if you still want to watch it for the goofs and the gaffs, go ahead.
Guys,
If you
go to this movie with like a bottle of wine, like in a hidden bottle or whatever, and like then maybe it'll be decent.
yeah.
God.
Yeah, give yourself some leeway here. Go into it knowing you might laugh a little bit. Again, the goofs and the gaffs. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. I think, again, our statement stays. It's somewhere between not good at all to isai. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope
I think talking about it made me like it less.
Yeah, which is an issue. But whatever. Anyways, actually, you know, so I was thinking about this, but originally we were gonna do one song for Song of the Week, but I think I want to do a Mac Miller song just because, like, I feel like it needs to happen. Our conversation in the beginning of the podcast made me think like we need to do some sort of homage, and I think it fits perfectly. I want to do Self-Care.
Hopefully we don't
which
get
is-
copyright.
Yeah, hopefully YouTube chill out with this
Absolutely
one. All right.
wrecked.
Um,
We should do Dang.
yeah. Dang
I love Dang.
with Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my favorite Mac Miller song.
We can do, yeah, For the Remembrance. I think that the Divine Feminine was a great album. So let's do that. We're gonna do Dang by Mac Miller featuring Anderson .Paak. We hope you like the song as much as we do, and a little tribute for our friend who has passed away. So yeah, Dang by Mac Miller. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll catch you at the end of the song.
I can't keep on losing you over complications. Gone too soon. Wait, we was just hanging. I can't seem to hold on to. Dang, the people that know me best, the key that I won't forget. Too soon. I can't keep on losing you. I can't keep on losing you.
How many mistakes do it take till you leave? And I'm left with my hand and my face all red, and the face looking at you like,
Wait,
I know I ain't a saint if it ain't too late. Well,
can't keep on
I
losing
run away
you.
so fast, but my heart like gold, but it break like glass. Know my shit get old and I act so young, baby you so cold. Never had no son, you don't wanna grow up, yeah, the shit no fun. So when I get home, I'ma give you some, make it feel like wanna hit that drum. Yeah, the dick ain't free, I don't get no fucks. Yeah, it's complicated, got you frustrated. Get home late, and you don't trust me, baby. You way too drunk, you don't know what I'm saying. You can drive my car, don't drive me crazy. Complicated, got you frustrated. Every single night I keep you waiting. You say you don't care, that's what you're saying. We both know that's some bullshit. Okay, we be fighting, we be reuniting. Kiss me, touch me, tease me, me excited. Got a devil who is who, trying to get through to you because
Can't keep on losing you over complications. Gone too soon. Wait, we was just hanging.
girl, I'ma need you. Play your games like they might take it to an Ivy League school. Won't get Hall of Fame dick from a minor league dude. I see pussy, other people need food. Only got a little time, man, I ain't trying to spend it. Arguing about who ain't giving who attention. Tarting up the engine, need to reboot. I see pussy, other people need food. And I use every bone in my body. Keep on holding on to your trust. I know you don't want nothing to do with me, but just one more time, let's make love. One more time, it ain't much. Fuck them all, let's be us. Summer soft sweetness. Call late drunk, you hang up. What a mess I made of the sense I make none. It's complicated, keeping me up late. Can't concentrate, you're always on my brain. If it's love, then why the fuck I come with pain? I just think that's some bullshit. Okay, I seem inviting, trust me, she's a titan. This week she like him, next week they fighting. Need protection, all your dress is bulletproof. You safe with me, girl.
I can't keep on losing you.
Where the hell you going? Where you taking this trip to?
Wait,
Don't think to.
I can't keep on losing you.
Where the hell you going?
Wait,
Where the hell you going?
I can't keep on losing you over complications. Gone too soon. Wait, we was just hanging. I can't seem to hold on to. Dang, the people that know me best, the key that I won't forget. Too soon. I can't keep on losing you.
Keep losing you. Can't 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 keep losing you.
All right, and we are back. We hope it didn't make you too sad, but again, rest in peace, Mac Miller, man. Speaking of which, actually, I didn't want to forget to mention this, but Tommy Gunn and I guess, considering I directed it, but Tommy Gunn and I released a music video on the Rudimentary channel. I will link it in the description of the podcast, but check it out. It's a music video for Pass the Weed. It's a song that we released over the summer, part of the Tommy Gunn EP, Tape 147. Very catchy song in my opinion, not just because I produced it, but great video. Actually, I can't say that. You can talk about the video because I'm not going to criticize my own work.
Great video. I mean, it's definitely an interesting video. Great music. I mean, definitely catchy. Every time I've shown it to someone, I get it stuck in my head for a day. It was stuck in my head all day today, and I mean, honestly, they deserve some views. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, thanks for supporting. As
Lots
always,
of effort went into that music video. It looks
yes, it
great.
did. I
He
fucking
got
spent
them
so many
angles.
hours. I got the angles. I got the fucking angles.
If that guy's listening, Juan's got the angles. He don't need you.
Throwback. Okay, yeah, but please check out the music video. It's getting. I think we're almost at 700 plays right now, which is great
Almost
for like the
700
last
plays.
for the last 48 hours. And yeah, check out the music video. Let us know what you think. Hopefully, it's catchy for you. And now let's kind of dive into our mini topic, right? I love it. Kanye West, Lil Pump. Give you some background information in case you don't know the history of this. But Kanye, of
Kanye's
course,
a porn addict.
yes, as we've already known, this is a very well-known fact about Kanye, porn addict. Even though he's dating what would seem like the living embodiment of a porn star. Shout out to Kim. Love Kim K. But you already know Kanye said he's going to marry a porn star, and you know what? He did.
Kanye's friends say that from time to time they'll go to Kanye's house and he'll just have porn on.
Yep.
Like on the TV.
Yep. He just
Because.
avid porn viewer. I think this all kind of hints back to what I was telling you about. We spoke about this weeks ago when he was on the Kimmel interview, and he referenced Pornhub. He said that he watched Pornhub, and then the next day Pornhub gave him a lifetime premium account for Pornhub. I think that's where this started, because as we already know, in case you don't know, right, the way this collaboration began is so Pornhub had their award ceremony, and during that award show, Kanye had the honor of being the creative director of the show. So he dressed everyone at the show. He creatively put together the whole thing, and he actually had a collaboration with Pornhub, and he made 7 t-shirts, I believe, 7 long sleeves that actually appeared on his website, on his shop. Each one was for a different porn category award, for like best boobs or like best what scene or like whatever the fuck. So each porn star winner got their own Kanye t-shirt, and you could buy those. I believe it was like $70 a pop. But on top of that, one of the premiere releases of that night was the I Love It video, which was Kanye featuring Lil Pump, directed by none other than Spike Jonze, of course. Spike Jonze, a legendary film director. He's collaborated with Kanye many times, which is why the collaboration doesn't surprise me between the both of them. I'm just surprised that Spike Jonze hopped on the joint for something so ridiculous. I think he did a great job directing the video, though. I thought it was pretty funny. The song itself is a fucking meme.
It's a banger. It's the new Scoopity Poop.
Pretty much, except with Lil Pump on it.
Kanye's acting is phenomenal.
Yeah, he seemed like he was having a great time.
It's like the happiest I've seen Kanye ever, I think.
Yeah.
He just looks so like, kind of like, I don't know, in his zone. Like, he just seemed very happy.
Right. It's almost like we've jumped into his mind for a sec, right? Where like he lets his happiness run, and it's entertaining. It's very entertaining. I like the virality of it. I like the meme of it. Like, people are comparing it to Roblox, which I think is fucking hilarious, with the big body suits. And they're wearing all Yeezy. It's all Yeezy Supply clothing.
I mean, I want one of those suits, honestly. You get me one of those suits. And
it's really funny, actually. This is an Easter egg of the concept of the thing. But the slides that he's wearing in the video, the big slides that he's wearing, they're his first ever Yeezy slides, and he wore them to another red carpet event. And he was wearing a full suit designed by Virgil Abloh for Louis Vuitton, but the shoes that he was wearing were those slides. And a lot of people criticized him or memed him, saying that the slides are way too small for his feet. And so as a response to that, he posted a picture with some massive slides, like these very big ones. And I think he might have gotten the idea, hold up, let me make a music video with this. And so I think that's where the whole big body, big like Roblox-y kind of looking suit spawned. That's where the idea kind of came from. So I think it's funny that he incorporated this criticism into now this like mega viral video with Pornhub, Spike Jonze, and Lil Pump. And again, guess who touched the song? One of the producers was Ronnie J. Again, motherfuckers everywhere. Shout outs to Ronnie J, because you've been on every banging track this year.
I mean, I'm just waiting on the Eminem response, but hopefully he's on that too. Ronnie J, come on.
Yeah.
Just profit off the beef.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the beef when it rises up again. I know that Eminem's gonna respond. It's taken longer than I thought, but I mean, I hope he responds.
I don't know. The MGK video hasn't been pulled down. It's still on WorldStar. I believe it had 68 million views as of the last hour when I checked it. Some considerable dislike, but overall, I think people are waiting for M to respond, because MGK went pretty in on the diss track, not gonna lie. So, waiting on that. Anyways, I think that kind of concludes our segment in our podcast episode for the day. Anything else that you wanted to mention, Juan?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah. As always, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our criticism of The Nun. Hopefully you watched it and had a good time, or if you're gonna watch it, take Juan's advice. And yeah, we will try to keep you updated with everything. I think we had a pretty interesting week. Again, rest in peace, Mac Miller. Please be sure to check out that Pass a Weed video. Media for next week, before we forget, is White Boy Rick. Me and you have been hyped up for this film for a while. And McConaughey's our boy. McConaughey's our boy. Murph is our boy. So I can't wait to see this shit. I don't care how good or how bad it is. I'm just ready for it.
We'll have plenty to say about it, I'm sure.
Exactly. It's McConaughey, so we'll have shit to say about it. Anyways, White Boy Rick next week. Don't forget to check it out. Check out the YBN mixtape. Check out Pass the Weed music video. Link in the description. Check out our social media, our Gobekli Tepe Instagram. And thank you for staying on tune. Episode 11, man. Episode 11, we continue strong. Let's keep this shit going. And catch us on our next episode, which will be a week from today, probably. Week from whenever you're listening to this. Maybe a little earlier. Anyways, catch us next week for week 12. White Boy Rick. Don't forget to check that out. And thanks for listening. As always, we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out.
Peace.